What's going on? Thursday, September the 5th, 2024. I'm looking at Tris Speaker. I'm curious. I looked up his stats on Baseball Reference. 3,514 career hits and a 345 career batting average. That's impressive. There's only one other guy that can claim such high numbers with the combination of career hits and career batting average. That's Ty Cobb. He has more hits, and a better career batting average. Obviously, right? 4,189 hits and 366 career average, batting average. Who else can lay the claim with high numbers in hits and average combined? Tris Speaker's number 2. Roger Hornsby had a 358 career batting average, which is better than Speaker, but he only had 2,900 hits. Ed Delante, old school, had 346 career batting average, but he only had 2,500 career hits. You know what I'm getting at here? How about this guy, Tris Speaker? I want to look at him. I've been covering all his seasons from 1907 to 1928, 22-year career. No, 20, yeah, was it 22 years? Let's see. Tris Speaker, I've got him here. 22 years. 1907, 1928. Up to this point, I've covered all his seasons up through 1924. This video, 1925. 117 games, that's down. That means he missed 37 games that year. He had 429 at bats, had 79 runs scored, and 167 hits. So he misses 37 games. Let's say he got a hit a game. 37 and 167. That would have gave him 204. So he would have had 200 hits if he played every day, but he didn't. 35 doubles. He continues the string of impressive doubles. Season after season after season. 50 doubles, 40 doubles. This year, 35. 5 triples. 12 homers. That's up. He's not a home run guy. So he gets double figures in home runs. 87 RBIs. 5 stolen bases. 70 walks. 389 batting average. How about that? 117 games, 389. He had 167 hits. He was on a really good pace, and that's the 5th time over 380 for a season. Did you know that? 389 batting average. He was batting 400 for a while there in June and July, then kind of tapered off August, and then in September didn't play much, missed a lot of games in September. 479 on base, 578 slugging, 248 total bases. He had a hitting streak of 17 games, 53 multi-hit games. That's pretty good. In 117 games, he had 53 2 or more hits in a game. 36 2-hit games, 12 3-hit games, 4 4-hit games. 13 games, 2 runs scored, 5 games, 3 runs scored. 12 games, 2 RBIs. 7 games, 3 RBIs, and then he had a 1-5 RBI game. He's not an RBI guy. So 1925, he had a good batting average year, good base hits, but he missed 37 games. 389. How about that? That's his highest. But it was 117 games. If he had played the 154 game season, would he have been close to 400, or would he have been less than the 389? We don't know. This guy, in my opinion, one of the greatest hitters of all time, and he's underrated. A lot of guys get overrated. They look at them. They look at a certain individual. He has a breakout year: 48 homers, 150 RBIs, bats 350. Okay, but what does he do in the other seasons that he plays? There's a lot of one guy wonders. Is that the right word? Where you look at him and say, wow, he's pretty good. But if you look at his entire career, not that impressed. Not with Tris Speaker. 22 years, 3,500 hits, and 345. I gotta press the point. Did you know he's top 5 all time in career batting average? Ty Cobb, number 1, 366. Roger Hornsby, 358. Let me do this while I'm thinking about it. If you go to Google, put in the space bar, career batting average leaders. Just put that in your Google search. Go to Baseball Reference, okay? It will list the top 5. It lists Ty Cobb, still number 1. They're not including the Negro League players as much. They do include some of the guys. But for example, they say that Josh Gibson had 373 career, but he only played, how many games did he play? Let's look him up. Josh Gibson. There's kind of a conversation going on saying, is he number 1 career batting average of all time? To me, he's not. I'll tell you why. Josh Gibson. Got him here. They list his career batting average at 373. That beats Cobb. But caveat is this: 602 games. Cobb played 3,000 plus games. So to me, Josh Gibson is not number 1. If you only play 600 games, you got to have at least 1,500 to 2,000 games under your belt. Would you agree with me there? Okay, they list Oscar Charlton, number 2, 365. Let's look him up. If you click him, he played in the Negro Leagues. 918 games. Not enough for me. 365. He had 1,210 hits in 918 games. See, Cobb, 366, but it's 3,000 games. See my point? So I don't consider Oscar Charlton. He's a good player, 18 years. Stats are a little nebulous. What do I mean? Not as accurate. A lot of times he played games, they didn't keep the box score. Did you know that? So I don't consider Oscar Charlton number 2. I do consider Roger Hornsby. He's listed as number 3 on the list. I'm going to put Roger Hornsby number 2 career batting average. Why? 358, but listen to this. 2,259 games. And he has 8,173 at-bats. 358. So he's number 2 on my list. Who's number 3? Well, they list Joe Jackson. 13 years in the league. How many games? 1,332. To me, you need 1,500 to 2,000 at least. Don't you agree there? He's at 356 career. It's 1,300 games. But you know what happened to him? He was 32 years old. He got kicked out of the league. The Black Sox scandal of 1919. Did you know that year he batted 351? And then he comes back 1920 and batted 382. That's no fluke because he had 146 games. He had 218 hits. So he was on pace 32 years old. Give him another 8 years. He could have get up to about 3,000 hits, but the gambling scandal, and he took some money. Big mistake. Joe Jackson. Is he Hall of Famer? I'm 50-50 on that one. But 356. So you know what? I'm not going to put Joe Jackson as number 3 all time. Sorry. I've got Cobb 1 and Hornsby 2. Who's number 3? Who's next on the list when you go to that Baseball Reference I talked about? Judd Wilson. Now this guy played 21 years Negro League. 911 games, not enough. You need 2,000 games to really measure your batting average. They got him at 350. 1,000 hits. He's not on my list. Sorry, it's not enough games. You got a guy named Lefty O'Doul. He's listed here. Sorry, I can't put him on there. He only has 970 games. They got him at 349. Sorry, not enough for me. It's got to be a standard, don't you agree? If you're listing the top career batting averages of all time, you got to have, to me, 2,000 games. What's wrong with that? They got Turkey Stearns. They list him. He's got a career batting average of 348. 993 games, 1,300 hits. He looked like a good ball player. But again, the Negro Leagues, 18 years, 993 games. Not enough. So I'm not going to put him there. Then you got Ed Delonte. I mentioned him before. He's old school. He's at 346. 1,837 games. Not quite to 2,000, but you know what? I want to make the exception on Ed Delonte. Why? 1,800 games, he has 2,597 hits. 1.41 hits per game average. He's at 346. He's close to the 2,000. Didn't I say 1,500 to 2,000 games? I like 2,000 or more. But Ed Delonte, I'll make the exception because he has the 2,597 hits. Give him another 100 games. He probably maintains the 346. Did you know he batted over 400 3 times? He had a high of 410, then he had a 405 and a 404. So to me, Ed Delonte is number 3. Cobb is 1, 3,000 games. Hornsby's number 2, 2,200 games. Ed Delonte, almost 1,900 games. 1,837. He's number 3. And who's number 4 on my list? Tris Speaker. 345. And how many games for Tris Speaker? 2,789. See my point? He has a career to speak of. 2,789 games. And he gets 3,514 hits. He's number 4. And who would be round out the top 5 in my list? 2 guys. Billy Hamilton, old school, 344. 1,594 games. So, like I said, 1,500 to 2,000. I like 2,000 or more. Maybe you can put Billy Hamilton number 5, but no, I'm not going to put him number 5. He's got the 1,594 games. Not enough games for me. I'm going to put Ted Williams number 5. Why? 2,292 games. He has 7,706 at bats, and he gets 344 career. The Splendid Splinter. One of the greatest hitters of all time. So to me, the top 5: Ty Cobb 366, Rogers Hornsby 358, Tris Speaker, no, Ed Delonte, number 3, 346, because of the 2,597 hits. Number 4, Tris Speaker 345, and to me, Ted Williams, number 5, 344. Billy Hamilton, not enough games. 1,500 games. Should have had 2,000. He's a good hitter, though. 344 career. And then if you want to round out the top 10, you got Dan Brothers at 342, but 1,676 games. I like the 2,000 game mark, even though I make an exception for Ed Delonte. He has 1,837. So you know what I put number 6? How about Babe Ruth? 342. 342. 2,503 games. He was legitimate. So he's number 6. Number 7. Got to go with Harry Heilmann. 342, 2,147 games. See my point? So he's number 7 on my list. Greatest hitters of all time. How about Willie Keeler? May put him number 8. Why? 2,123 games. He's at 341. So he's number 8. Bill Terry. He's number 9. He's 341. 1,700 games. I don't know about Terry. I don't know if I should make an exception there. I made the exception with Ed Delonte's 1,837 games. Bill Terry, 1,721. He has a 341 career batting average. I don't know if I'll put him number 9. You know who I'm going to put number 9? Lou Gehrig, 340 career. Why? Well, we know the stat. 2,164 games. He passes the 2,000 mark. Way to go, Lou. So he's number 9 on my list. And then number 10, rounding off the number 10 guy, you could go with maybe George Sisler. I don't know. Let's look him up. He's at 340. Got him. Why? 2,055 games. All right, you want to hear the top 10 again? Top 10, Ty Cobb, 366, number 1. Greatest hitter of all time. I'm not talking about the greatest baseball player of all time. How about just the greatest pure hitter of all time? Ty Cobb, number 1. Roger Hornsby, number 2, 358. Number 3, I make the exception, Ed Delonte, 346. Tris Speaker, number 4, 345. All these guys are 1,800 games or more. Okay. I'll break it. I'll make the cutting line to make the cut. I'm gonna say 1,800 or more games. Is that fair? Ed Delonte's there. Okay. Number 4, Tris Speaker. Number 5, Ted Williams, 344. Then number 6, Babe Ruth, 342. Harry Heilmann, number 7, 342. Number 8, Willie Keeler, 2,000 games, 341. Number 9, Lou Gehrig. Sorry, Bill Terry. You didn't have enough games. So number 9, Lou Gehrig's 340. And rounding off the top 10, George Sisler, 340. The top 10 greatest hitters of all time, according to me and my 1800 game cutoff. Gotta have more than that. Did you get it? I'll repeat it one more time just to emphasize what I mean. If you played 1800 or more games, who are the greatest 10 hitters of all time? Cobb, Hornsby, Delante, Speaker, Williams, Ruth, Heilman, Keeler, Gehrig, and Sisler. All right, I'm done with this video. I covered the 1925 season of Tris Speaker, and I got carried away with the career batting average. Next video, 1926, we're going to look at the last 3 years of Tris Speaker, and then we're going to rank him greatest hitters of all time. Is he number 2 because of the combination of career hits and batting average? Or is there someone else that beats him out? We'll look at it. Talk to you later. Respectfully, I'm out.